Well, welcome again, everyone, to the Facebook Live by ID Life. Again, Mark Bennett here on behalf of the company. Today's topic, love your skin. I have to say, after last week's episode of Kids Nutrition, I'm happy to move into a new category today. But today's love your skin is going to be interesting. You know, we're going to talk about what it means to actually love your skin, and we very well may be learning some things together, because I can tell you when putting all this together, I actually learned a few things myself. But let's kind of jump right in. You know, we're all born with impeccable skin. We all have, you know, that fresh baby smell, and everything's going great in the world, and then all of a sudden the environment and our diet and our lifestyle already start playing an impact on what our future skin is going to look like, even at this very young age. But one of the things I would be remiss if I didn't mention in this is, guys, this isn't just for the ladies. The love your skin is also about us, and we need to make sure that we're taking care of our own skin, because a lot of times, much like our health care, we don't start doing anything about what's going on with our skin until something's wrong. And unfortunately, when it comes to our skin, it's a little too late at that point. See, the one thing about skin is it starts at a very young age, and if we're not doing things to take care of it when we're young, when we get old, it really is something that is a foregone conclusion. In fact, speaking of that topic, most people, when they're looking at skincare, are starting to think about it, really starting to worry about it in their late 30s, early 40s, when they start seeing the age spots start to pop up, the wrinkles are starting, the crow's feet, the lines between the forehead, things of that nature. But in reality, the truth of the matter is, our skin actually begins to age in our 20s. You know, when we're having all that fun, when we're out on the beach and we're running around at pool parties, and we're putting suntan lotion on with no skin protection and running around all day long and doing all these various things, the damage being done is something that is becoming permanent. And most people don't appreciate or understand that that's when it starts, and you have to start loving your skin at an early age. Now, we are going to talk about the 3 top secrets of loving your skin today. And you see here, you know, the picture says 1,000 words, as they say. We're going to turn your thinking upside down a bit. Because, see, the reality is a lot of us think of skincare upside down. We think of it backwards. And what I mean by that is when you're actually thinking about skincare, usually you're thinking outside in, when in reality we need to be thinking inside out. Now, what do I mean by that? See, most people, when they're thinking about skincare, you know, the first secret is when something starts to crack or something starts to go wrong, or we start seeing blemishes and things like that, we think that we can grab some type of moisturizer or cream or something else and put it on topically, and that somehow is going to take care of the problem. The first thing that I want to share with you is the super secret sauce to the #1 skincare product in the world. Now, I want to make sure everyone has a chance to hear this one, because, I mean, this is groundbreaking. This is something that, you know, you may have never heard before. It is by far and away the absolute best product for your skin, guaranteed to make your skin look better. It's water. See, unfortunately, in this country, we don't drink enough of it, and as a result, our skin remains dehydrated. You know, we talk about dehydration all the time, about the body systems when we're talking about nutrition and fitness and things like that. But most people miss out on the fact that dehydration has its greatest impact on the body's largest organ. That's right, your skin is your body's largest organ. And when we're dehydrated and we're not giving the body the water that it needs, the place that is affected the most is our skin. See, if we properly hydrate our body on a regular basis and drink enough water, and I'm not talking about other liquids, and I'm not talking about caffeinated beverages, and I'm not talking about sugar drinks, and I'm not talking about sodas and things like that. I'm talking about just pure water. When you're drinking enough water, your skin will literally radiate. It will basically glow. You know, and one of the other things after you get properly hydrated is diet. Now, this is one thing that, you know, a lot of people don't want to hear, because every time you're dealing with a health and wellness company and you're talking about nutrition, you know, one of the things that people forget, that diet plays a critical role. It affects our body. It affects everything about us. And of course, it's obviously going to affect the body's largest organ. What we are consuming, if it's fast food, processed foods, lots of salts, lots of sugars, things that the body doesn't need, it's going to have an effect on our skin. See, this is something we have to think. We have to think inside out, not outside in. We have to start with the internal, because if we're not feeding the skin what it needs from the inside, going through the dermal layer and the epidermis, it's not going to take, it does not matter what we're putting on the outside. It's not going to have the impact. You know, it's kind of like trying to out-train a bad diet. It's just not going to work. Everything starts with diet. In fact, there are tons of research papers done, tons of books on the effects of certain things on our skin. In fact, you know, this was taken from a book that was recently published that, you know, was talking about, you know, the effects of overuse of wine and gluten and sugar and dairy on the face and how it impacts our skin in different ways. And see, it doesn't matter what we're putting on top of our face. If these are the things that are going on and we're having these types of reactions to the food that we're consuming, it's kind of hard to fight it from the inside out unless we change our diet and pay attention to what we're doing there. The other thing is lifestyle. Now, lifestyle plays a key role, and this can be environmental, this can be fitness, this can be all kinds of number of things on what we're doing for the health of our skin, whether or not we're actually taking care of it, whether or not we're actually doing what we need. And in fact, there's some decisions that we're making from a lifestyle perspective that are actually having a major impact on our skin. One of those is smoking. Now, if you're a smoker or you're subject to secondhand smoke on a regular basis, it's okay, because the reality is, you know, these things can be taken care of, but you need to understand something about your skin is a lot of times the smoking damage that's being done to your skin is in fact permanent unless we do something about it at an early age and we prevent this from happening. And in fact, if you remain a smoker throughout your life, one of the unfortunate things, one of the unfortunate facts, and I know this picture is a bit extreme, is smokers have 10 times more wrinkles than non-smokers when they get older. So if you really want to care about what you're going to look like in older age, and you really want to, you know, go off gracefully into your later years, just realize that smoking habit can have a major impact later on what's going on with your skin. So keep that in mind. Make sure that you're doing this. But this is only one lifestyle. Drinking has the same effect. There's all kinds of other lifestyle choices that have the same effect on your skin. Let's talk about vitamins and minerals. And of course, electrolytes too. There are a lot of people that don't appreciate or understand that diet, lifestyle, and nutrition play a critical role in the health of your skin. And that if your body's not getting the right vitamins, minerals, and nutrients from your diet, your lifestyle, and any supplementation you may be doing, it's going to adversely affect the way that your skin looks. These are critical roles. I mean, time and time again, no matter what scientific article you read, what dermatologist you speak to, all of them will tell you the same thing. Nutritional deficiencies in the body will affect the body's organs and systems, and the largest organ in the body is the skin. So if you're vitamin deficient, it will affect the look and feel of your skin. It's just a primary source of science. You know, one of the things that we've done here at ID Life is we've come out with a customized nutrition program. We call it ID Nutrition, made just for you with 1.7 million outcomes. It's feeding the body what it needs. And of course, our Hydrate formula is a liquid-based electrolyte replenisher, feeding the body those electrolytes every day, trying to get people to feed their skin from the inside out. These are just some of the small things that we're doing here to try to help with this particular issue. But secret number one is work from the inside out. That has to be critical, because if you don't start with that basic phase, it doesn't matter what you're doing from the outside in as much. You have to take care of the skin from the inside out first. That's number one. Number two, let's talk about cleaning the face. Cleaning our skin. There are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to cleaning the skin. And that's why, the top secret number two is how to actually clean our face and clean our skin. Number one, ladies, this one's for you. You may or may not know that on a lot of makeup brushes, there are a ton of bacteria. In fact, one of the things that is recommended is that you change these and cleanse these on a regular basis. And a lot of people already know this. A lot of ladies that use their makeup brushes on a regular basis, they know that they have to take care of these things to make sure they're not transferring the bacteria that's on the brush onto their skin. What they don't realize, though, is one of the number one culprits for bacteria on the skin comes from our hands. I want to make sure that that one is heard and that that one is set in. The number one culprit is our hands. In fact, when you actually look at it, bacteria are the number one culprit for skin breakouts. If you're not washing your hands, guess what? That's where a majority of it comes from. So all you have to do is, before you're going to clean your face, the first thing you want to do is clean your hands. Now this applies to the application of makeup, moisturizers, anything that you're going to do with your face. Make sure that you wash your hands first, because if you wash your hands first, guess what? You are going to remove the bacteria from your hands, and now you're not doing the transfer. Remember, we touch a lot of things during the day, and though we may be personally really careful, we don't know who came before us. We don't know where the stuff that we're touching came from. We have to make sure that we're washing our hands first. Let's talk about a myth as well. You know, one of the myths that's out there is that scrubbing your face with soap will keep you healthy and acne free. Unfortunately, that isn't always the case. And in fact, if you talk to a lot of dermatologists, they're going to talk about how soap removes the protective oils and barriers of the skin, how soap alone can lead to rashes and breakouts because it's drying out the skin and removing those protective oils and barriers. And in fact, some soaps, depending on what type of soap you're using and where it came from and what its composition and makeup are, they can actually cause more harm than good. You have to be very careful here. You know, most dermatologists, their recommendation is a gentle cleanser followed by a good moisturizer or sunscreen. You know, part of the reason why ID Life created the cleanser that we have, that's a gentle apple-based cleanser that removes not only the makeup but also the eye makeup as well, was for that specific reason. See, we had a lot of input from dermatologists. That's why this is, you know, dermatologist approved. It's because we wanted to make sure that we were doing it the right way and that we're teaching the right formulation on how to get people to not only clean their skin but also moisturize afterwards. And then, of course, the day cream and the night cream have all of those recommendations as well to make sure that we're moisturizing the skin on a regular basis. In fact, most people are going to be told when you moisturize your skin, if you think it's moist enough, moisturize more and moisturize again. We can't over moisturize our skin, so it's one of the things you need to make sure that you're really taking care of. Let's talk about this. You know, a lot of people, they see people with cucumbers on their eyes and they're like, oh, that's an old wives' tale. You know, it doesn't really work. Well, what's interesting about this one is it has actually been shown to scientifically be proven to work. That's right. Cucumbers on the eyes can actually have a beneficial effect and have been scientifically proven to actually help reduce swelling in those lines under your skin. So, ladies, no matter what you might think, guys, whatever you might think about it with regard to you seeing people doing it, the reality is science has proven this actually does work. So keep using the cucumbers on the eyes for those issues and problems, because it is not an old wives' tale. It is actually something that will be beneficial and will be helpful to you. Let's talk about the third secret. The third secret is protection. Protection of your skin, and probably the most critical one of all three here is protecting your skin from the sun. See, the number of skincare cases treated each year in the United States right now is 5.4 million. 5.4 million cases of skincare cancers in this country alone. That's not even counting the world. That's every year. Now, that is more cases than breast cancer, prostate cancer, lung cancer, colon cancer combined. See, unfortunately, what happens to us is much like we treat our health, much like heart health and diabetes and all the other things that we suffer from. We wait till something goes wrong. We wait till we get that unfortunate cancer diagnosis to start deciding that we're going to start taking care of our skin. The reality is we are being inundated with these UV rays, and we need to do something about it before it happens. It has to be preventative. Parents, we have to take care of our kiddos. I mean, I'm guilty here. I mean, I can't remember how many times, the kids run out to the pool and they spend all day at the pool, and, they're not, and maybe even if we put sunscreen on in the beginning, we didn't reapply it. So, let's make sure that we're taking care of things here. But if you want to know how big of an impact this truly is in this country, 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer at some time in their lifetime. Now, let's let that kind of, meddle in a little bit. 1 in 5 people is going to have to go through a diagnosis of cancer in their lifetime related to skin simply because we're not doing the basic things of taking care of our skin on the front end. We have to do the things necessary to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. This is something that is preventable. This is something that we can do something about. This is something that we need to make sure that people are aware of and take seriously. So let's talk about this, because this is something that is a little bit confusing and unfortunately from a marketing standpoint has really taken advantage of a lot of people. See, there are 3 different types of UV rays. There's UVC, UVB, and UVA. And UVC rays, when they're referred to, are something that are actually burned up in the ozone. So if you ever see a product that's talking about, prevention of UVC rays, that's kind of a telltale sign that real quick you need to be asking questions, because that's something that doesn't really make its way through the ozone in order to get to our skin. UVB rays, that's what we're referring to when we talk about SPF. In fact, you need to make sure that you understand that. Is every time you see an SPF number, all it is referring to is the UVB rays. The UVB rays are the ones that are linked to the causes of cancer, but the real culprit here, one of the things we need to make sure that we're aware of, is those UVA rays that are actually penetrating the epidermal layer, that's the top layer of our skin, and actually getting into the dermis. Those are the ones that are causing the sunspots, skin damage, and all kinds of other things that are wreaking havoc inside of us. So, when we look at this and we're actually seeing what people are buying, SPF is blocking about 94% of UVB rays, SPF 30 about 97%. Most dermatologists are going to tell you anything above SPF 30, the return on the cost is minimal. In fact, after you get past SPF 45, it really does get into the thousandths of a percentile in the decimal range. Because in fact SPF 45 is only about 98%. So it really does have a breakdown. To give you a better picture of what I'm talking about here, this is what you can think of. So see, the sun is releasing photons. These are the UVB rays that are coming down. And that SPF in essence is going to block 0 if it's not on there at all. So if you don't have any sunscreen on at all, you're not going to block any of those photons. If you have the SPF 15, you're going to block 93%, which means out of every 100, you're going to let 7 in. And of course, SPF 30, you're going to let 3 in. So that's the kind of the idea. But here's the big kicker. You have to look for a broad spectrum sunscreen product. What that means is broad spectrum means that it is going to block not only the UVB rays, which is the SPF side, but also the UVA rays. Because the UVA is the thing that's doing a lot of the sun damage and other things to our skin that we need to make sure that we're well aware of, and that we're basically taking care of our skin all the way down through all the layers. So here you have a product that you're looking for. Now here's the best part, and I want to make sure everyone understands. It has to be reapplied every couple of hours. See, this is where a lot of us do it wrong. We put on the sunscreen and we go out and do the pool party, or we're out at the beach and we put it on once right before we go out, and we're out there all day thinking that we're protected. Remember, you're sweating, your skin's pores are opening up. These things are being pushed out. If you're not reapplying, guess what? You're back to that left side with no sunscreen after a period of time, and all of those photons are attacking your skin. The best part about the ID Life Day Cream is that we actually have a broad spectrum sunscreen protection built into that product. It's one of those things that I tell people all the time: when you apply it on your face, whatever you have left over, make sure that you apply it to the back of your hands, because that's one of those things that you can actually get protection on the back of your hands. Now why do I say put what's left on the back of your hands? When I was a kid, I used to play with magnifying glasses. And in fact, if you remember the old magnifying glass, you put it in the sun and you put it on anything, you can actually catch some things on fire. And as somebody who had an uncle that was a fire chief, I can tell you, a bad experience in life, never do it again. But that magnifying glass is a key component. We don't appreciate or understand that every day we're driving in our car, we are in that magnifying glass. Our hands are up there on the wheel and our face is right there, being inundated by the sun going through that glass onto the skin. We need to make sure that we're taking care of the back of our hands and our face, because those are the 2 areas that are getting inundated the most. When you love your skin when you're young, you're going to love your skin when you're old. It's something that you have to make sure that you're taking care of. We've gone through the 3 secrets. The secret number 1 is take care of your skin from the inside out. Make sure that it has proper hydration. Make sure that you have the right diet and lifestyle that isn't adversely affecting your skin. And make sure that you're getting the right nutrients, both vitamins, minerals, and electrolytes. so that your skin has the nutrients it needs from the inside to take care of itself. Number 2 secret, real simple, make sure that you're cleaning your face the right way. Remember, wash the hands first. It's key to transferring of the bacteria if you don't. So make sure that we're cleaning our face the right way. And of course, number 3 is protect it from the outside as well. Make sure that we're using broad spectrum SPF and broad spectrum sunscreen products to make sure that we're actually getting all of the protection of the UVB and UVA rays that are causing damage to our skin. Now, we've kind of gone through some of the things that that ID Life has to offer in this realm, and in fact, one of the things I failed to even mention was the serum, which is an amazing product to help rejuvenate and give life to the skin before you apply those moisturizers. But for those of you that might be interested in trying something from ID Life, we have a special. 50% off the deluxe skincare set that I just explained to you for 1 week only, all the way through Valentine's Day. It's kind of our Love Your Skin promotion, getting ready for the Valentine's Day special. Guys, if you're listening, this is a great gift for your ladies, for your moms, for your sisters. This is while supplies last. I will tell you, there's not a lot of these. We will sell out of these. It will happen fast. But we want to make sure that, we're kind of putting our money where our mouth is. When we do these types of programs and we want to go through these education, we want to make sure that we invest in you the same that you invest in yourself. So while supplies last, 50% off the skincare sets. Get them while they're there. Next Monday, our CEO will be doing a live event on Facebook Live right here, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure that you're plugged into that. We have our big event coming up in the third week of April, April 20th through the 23rd, here in Frisco, Texas. We call it Revolution. Welcome everybody, anyone and everyone. The list of speakers is growing. It's unbelievable. We're going to have all kinds of scientific panels. We're going to have leadership organizations, as well as leadership training like you've never seen. I mean, I can't even believe some of the people that our CEO has lined up to speak at this thing. It's going to be unreal. But this is just a time to grow, learn, and become a better you. So we'd love to have you out. Next week, same time, same channel, February 15th at 11:30 Central Standard Time, we're going to do a Facebook Live on the ABCs of workout supplements. Now, this is something that I want to make sure everyone understands. There's a lot of people out there that have belief systems on pre-workouts and post-workouts and pre-workout meals and post-workout meals and all these things. And unfortunately, there's a lot of myths. And unfortunately, there's a lot of junk out there. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that people have the right information. We want to make sure people are having informed choices. We want to make sure that before you grab something thinking that it's going to get you the result that you're looking for, that you're not actually grabbing something that is going to give you a short-term result but affect your long-term health. So next week is all about the ABCs of workout supplements. It's going to be educational. It's going to be informative. For some of you, it may be a little maddening because there may be some discussion about particular ingredients and whether or not they do in fact work or not. But I welcome anyone and everyone to jump on next week, same time, same channel, 11:30 Central Standard Time. Until then, Mark Bennett on behalf of ID Life, I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks.